A man went out to sea to fish, but as soon as he reached the open water, he encountered a thick fog. He initially thought the fog would quickly disperse, so he continued sailing forward. However, the fog only grew denser, forcing Jack to shut off the engine and wait for it to clear before proceeding. Suddenly, Jack's small boat was hit by an unknown object. He hurriedly got up to check his surroundings and discovered that a large sailboat had collided with his vessel. Curious, Jack maneuvered his boat closer to investigate, but after shouting for a while, no one responded. He decided to board the sailboat to get to the bottom of the mystery. After tying his boat to the sailboat, he climbed aboard. The deck was completely deserted. Jack entered the cabin and found it fully stocked with supplies, but after searching every room, there was no sign of the owner. He tried using the sailboat's radio to call the port, but there was no signal. Left with no other choice, Jack prepared to leave, but when he returned to the deck, his small boat was gone. He grabbed a pair of binoculars to search for it, but he couldn't see anything in the thick, foggy sea. Frustrated, he sat down on the boat. After an unknown amount of time passed, the dense fog gradually dissipated. Jack used the binoculars to look for his boat again, but still couldn't find any trace of it. Jack attempted to start the sailboat, but the engine and rudder were both broken. His only option was to raise the sails and drift across the sea using the wind. Without a compass, Jack quickly lost his sense of direction. He tried the radio again to call for help, but still received no response. Feeling dejected, Jack went out on deck to take a leak. Unexpectedly, the sail behind him suddenly shifted direction and swung straight towards him. Luckily, his quick reflexes allowed him to grab onto the railing with both hands. Although the boat was moving at high speed, he twisted his body and hooked his right foot onto the deck to regain balance, narrowly escaping death in the nick of time. Jack returned to the cabin to relieve himself, but when he tried to leave after finishing his business, the door suddenly locked. No matter how much he jiggled the handle, the door wouldn't budge an inch. Jack was utterly perplexed, as he was certain he hadn't locked it. He opened a storage cabinet to look for tools to help him, but instead discovered 4 bloody claw marks inside. Terrified, he grabbed a pair of nearby scissors and tried to pry the lock open. Just then, the radio suddenly crackled to life, warning him that a cargo ship was approaching and he needed to change course immediately to avoid a collision. Jack looked out the window in a panic and saw a huge ship bearing down on him. He frantically tried to force the door open, but the lock remained stubbornly jammed. With the impending crash moments away, he repeatedly threw his body against the door, but it was all in vain. In desperation, he stuck his arm out the window and waved for help.